Say it with me. It was only preseason. One more time. I don't want to hear your excuse this, that, and the third. No, it was only preseason. And don't worry, I'm right there with you. After watching last night's performance against the Washington Wizards, I have a lot of concerns, a lot of worries. And don't worry, Fan and CK and family alike, we're not alone because players themselves have a bit to worry about. Donte DiVincenzo said this.
We know that a week from tonight is opening night, and if we're not ready, we're going to get smacked. So I think we have a good week of practice up and coming, and I think, we'll really get after it.
But one thing is for sure, a 1-3 preseason record is not going to foretell the future of the Knicks. But there were things to take away from this preseason that we can build upon and hopefully adapt to. That's up to Tom Thibodeau, and that's up to this newly constructed small New York Knicks team. Let's talk about it. Run the intro. What's good, CK Coach Boy, CK2K, and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. People. The Knicks have finished their 4-game preseason off of 2 back-to-back losses, unfortunately. Now, obviously, with one of them in the front of a back-to-back, Tom Thibodeau decided to not go with any of his starters, any of his key players in that game outside of Mitchell Robinson and Quentin Grimes. We saw Quentin Grimes have a tremendous game there. And then we saw last night that he decided to have a dress rehearsal of all the main guys except for Emmanuel Quickley against the Washington Wizards main guys except for Kyle Kuzma. And we didn't look the way that a lot of the coaching staff and a lot of the players built us up to believe that we would look.
Yeah, disappointed would be the perfect word. So obviously we have a lot to work on, and we can't stay down. We can't feel sorry for ourselves. We have to fix it.
There's a lot of people like myself who saw that game and they're a little bit worried. For me, the worry was this was our main rotation that was having a hard time dealing with guys like Jordan Poole, who was actually one of their key players on that team. So if we're having a hard time with Poole, who's to say we're not going to have a hard time with any other player? This, that, and the third you could talk about. The point of the matter was there's a lot of worries that I think that a lot of Knicks fans had watching this game because of the fact that all of our main guys played. We got to see more Donte DiVincenzo in this game. Josh Hart still played. This is the most minutes we saw from Jalen Brunson in the entire preseason. You can tell he was a bit rusty. Julius Randle was probably a bright spot in my opinion. I thought Julius Randle played a very efficient game. Julius Randle looked like he was in midseason form, especially from the shooting standpoint. I love that he was getting to the rim. Would like for him to make those damn free throws. Like I said, as there was a lot of negatives to take away from this preseason, there were some positives. The big positives that I liked from the preseason play was our pacing. I don't know if this is something that's going to carry on into the regular season, but it is something that we need to continue with how small our team is. And that is playing in pace. If we are a team that's going to hang our hat on our defensive play, we got to be able to get that defensive stop and run in transition. And yesterday, we saw a few possessions where that was the case. I feel like in today's NBA, it should be a common way of basketball playing in pace. But unless you're a team that does not have that kind of personnel, which is very rare in today's NBA, in an era of positionless basketball, and especially with the New York Knicks where the majority of our key players are all guards that are 6'4" and under, you got to play at a pace so you're not setting up a half-court offense, which we do not have, where it's just going to turn into a bunch of isolations and you're making it easier for the defense to set up and contain us when we're already a little basketball team. So playing in pace yesterday was a really nice thing to see. I feel like that's only going to improve as time goes on, and we have the personnel for it. Josh Hart is really good at rebounding and pushing. And Julius Randle, I like Julius Randle when he's running the break as opposed to controlling the ball in the break. And I think we saw that more this preseason where Julius Randle was okay being the one off the ball. I think it's only going to benefit him more. I like playing in pace, and I hope that that's something Tom Thibodeau continues to work on for this team as the season goes on, because I feel like that's going to be the key to us staying as a good offensive team this year. But what's your thoughts on the Knicks playing in a fast pace? Do you think it's realistic? Do you think Knicks will actually do it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. But outside Julius Randle, we saw a good second half from RJ Barrett, but the start of the game, he did not look that great. And I think that's one of my concerns going into the season. I mean, let's get through it. Let's talk about my concerns. Let's overreact a little bit. One of my big concerns is is with Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett. Quentin Grimes had a tremendous game in a loss against the Boston Celtics when he was the primary go-to guy. We saw Quentin Grimes when the ball is in his hands. When you're looking for him offensively, Quentin Grimes' game opens up a lot more and he looks really fluid. And then in yesterday's game, you're seeing Quentin Grimes only put up 4 shots. You're not really seeing Quentin Grimes really flourish in that role. Like, yes, defensively he's good, but you're not really seeing him get the ball in his hand or get put in the spots to be able to do the things that he did in a game like against Boston. And I feel like the same problem goes with RJ Barrett. In the second preseason game, we didn't see much Jalen Brunson or Julius Randle, which then allowed RJ Barrett to play with the ball in his hand a lot more. It was a lot of IQ and a lot of RJ Barrett in that second preseason game. We saw RJ Barrett flourish off that as well, being able to get to the cup at a more consistent rate and drawing those fouls, being able to do a few things offensively, being able to set up Mitchell Robinson on those lobs, being able to set up guys on driving kicks. Those are the kind of things you want to see out of RJ Barrett. But my worry is now when you're going to be playing with Jalen Brunson, with Julius Randle for the majority of the game, then those two guys, they suddenly disappear. Yes, that is a fault of theirs as well. I still feel like there's ways that Quentin Grimes can get to his spots with them having the ball. I still feel like there's ways that RJ Barrett can still play his game while Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson demand the ball for the majority of the game. But at the same time, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, that's where I have to start getting creative and working to their strengths, because that's the key. In my opinion, Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson are going to be the main guys. We all know this, but we also need the key factors in Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, and RJ Barrett to also show up offensively for us to be able to be in any conversation scoring wise again this year. And the way to do that with guys like Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett, because Emmanuel Quickly gonna get his with his role. How do you get Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett to get there? We've seen in the past where Tom Thibodeau has run RJ Barrett with the bench unit as well as with the starters. We'll see him take RJ Barrett out around the 5 to 6 minute mark in the first quarter, and then let him run predominantly with the bench unit in the second, and come back out with the starters to close the game and in the third. And I think that's something that we got to continue to do. I think RJ Barrett, not only because we're going to need RJ Barrett's length and height with that second unit because we're really small in the second unit, but I also think that that helps him be able to get to his spots and get his game going sooner, so then when it does come to crunch time, there's going to be a better understanding and there's going to be better cohesiveness in getting the ball to the right guys as the game goes on. But the question is, can he do the same thing with Quentin Grimes? I feel like one thing we never see with Quentin Grimes is we never see him really run with the second unit. I mean, we've seen so many instances where, you know, he tries to get Josh Hart out there with Jalen Brunson. Now he's going to try to get DiVincenzo out there with Jalen Brunson. So if you're going to do that, we got to see Grimes out there running with the second unit as well to utilize his offensive abilities. People think that if you're a bench player, you're resulted to only playing with the bench, and if you're a starter, you're only resulted to playing with the starter. That's not technically true with basketball. Yes, there's people who start the game and there's people who start on the bench, but the majority of the game is about who plays to their strengths, how the strengths are, and with whatever rotations that may be, and then who closes the game. I don't care who starts, I don't care who doesn't start. It's about who closes the game and who does what in between the game leading up to that ending moment. So just because I'm saying that RJ Barrett and Quentin Grimes can thrive by playing with the second unit does not mean that they need to be coming off the bench. Those two do not always have to equal the same thing. We have still seen RJ Barrett still play well with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle in some games last season. We've also seen Quentin Grimes be able to make his shots off of those guys in some games last season. So it's a thing they're going to figure it out in some games. But for the most part, if it's not going, you still got to play to their strengths and let them be able to control the offense a little bit. And the way you do that is when they're playing, when Julius and Jalen are not playing. You got to play to their strengths. And that's the job of Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau has to figure out how to play to all of these guys' strengths. And let's be real, you got to play to your main guys' strengths, because that's how you win these games. You play to your main guys and let the others do what they do in their roles as well. I'm looking at this and I'm looking to primarily at Tom Thibodeau to see how he works it out. Now, if Tom Thibodeau does all this and RJ Barrett still has a slow start and we're not seeing him until January, he does all this and Quentin Grimes is still not shooting the ball and shooting low numbers, then that's the conversation we got to talk about those guys. But Tom Thibodeau as a coach has to put these guys in position. And I'm using Grimes and RJ Barrett because they're the ones that I feel like are the ones that we need the consistency from. We know what we're going to get from Jalen. We know what we're going to get from Julius. We know what we're going to get from IQ off the bench. But from Quentin Grimes and RJ Barrett, we need them to be more consistent. And I feel like playing to their strengths is how you do that. What says you? Let me know your thoughts about everything in the comments below. What did you like? What did you dislike about the preseason? I want to hear everything. Let it be known in the comment section below. Before we go anywhere, we brought him back. You guys liked it. We're here for another segment of comments of the video. Let's read a few comments. Oh, I don't know how to say your name. Ins1D Source. I hope I said your name right. He said, CK, you stated that you would prefer a 10-man rotation. How many minutes do you give to IQ, Dante, Grimes, and Hart in your 10-man rotation? Well, see, to me, I'm not about like giving players set minutes. Like, obviously I want to play them around a minute mark, but it depends on how they're playing in the game. But what I do know is there's going to be instances where, like I said, Grimes is going to be playing and starting, and then we're going to let him run with the bench a little bit and see where he is. And whoever the guys that are giving me the most are going to be ones that are closing the game. Some games is going to be IQ, some games is going to be Grimes. But I could tell you what my 10-man rotation would be. It would be the starting five, obviously Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. And then my second unit, maybe not always together, but my second unit would be Mayo Quickly, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Jericho Sims. Love you, Deuce. I would love Deuce in rotation. Personally, I would play Deuce over Dante, but we got to play the guys that we paid. So that'd be my 5. And then I would mix that around with who we got in the starters and whatnot. That'd be my 10-man rotation. Okay, this comment right here is hilarious to me. This is how I know some of y'all not real. C. Roy said, a CK sighting on YouTube is as rare as Bigfoot in the woods of North America. That's a you problem. We live stream damn near all the damn time here on this channel, and I make sure you guys know whether it's on Twitter, IG, or in the Discord. So if you're not seeing me, that's on you. I'm here. Now, yes, if you're talking about uploading on this channel, yes, we're getting back into the swing of things. I'll give you that. But we still live over here. Matter of fact, we gonna be live tonight, so you better be in the live stream tonight. Anyways, I appreciate you guys as always. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Do not forget to like this video. The season begins in less than a week. How are you guys feeling? What's your thoughts about what I said in the video? Appreciate you guys as always. Live stream tonight here on CK2K, playing 2K. We're gonna be running some rec. If you guys want to talk more about the Knicks, you just come to the chat. We'll talk about the Knicks even while I'm playing 2K. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. Let's get it. All right. Catch you on the next one. Bye.
Cold pizza Tuesday. I got food up in the fridge. Y'all keep looking for that new way. I think I like it how it is.